Peace and blessings on the children. How on the children be? This year the Queen Quet, head from the body of the Gullah Geechee Nation. Well, guess where I did this year time? Okay, I up here and there with them children be the top of the Waka Mall and all of that kind of thing there. We in Conway, South Kakalaki for the second Gullah Geechee CREATE Artwork Showcase. On the children, if you ain't been there, you would have had a chance to meet not only the artists, but also to go ahead and get your art seen yourself, to do some crafting and all that kind of thing right here. Well, we going to take on her in so you can see a little bit more of what going on with the artists and what they done create, and for Yeddi, who the winners of this year artwork showcase be. And then we want you to join me for the artwork showcase number 3, March 29th, that's a Saturday, in North Chucktown. It going down March 29th, okay? We're going to be there from 1 to 3 with 100 children for join me and the rest of the Gullah Geechee family as we show you how great it is to see Gullah Geechee create coastal removal, engaging artists through the environment. So let's see what these artists done do, and then in North Charleston, we won't see you too. This year the Queen Quet, head from the body of the Gullah Geechee Nation, and if on the day with me, Hunter going know this year the what going on. Let's go. Conway and things like that. And Reynolds for this year day. But we to deal with another way, the waterway. For this year, Gullah Geechee create coastal removal, engaging artists through the environment. So we didn't get this to drop on so for just the community day and things like that. But we thought that with the point of it, that we have to come and join the community in what we've been to do over the past year or so. With all of these artists we're going to see from that side of the north. So not these round tables, but that long table what they did. The series, these are longer. The bring you close. Up and down from Jacksonville, North Carolina, to Jacksonville, Florida, to this your place, what we call the Gullah Geechee Nation. And the Queen Quet, head on the body of the Gullah Geechee Nation. We're so glad for their backyard in Conway. But the first time I had cracked my teeth in some of these buildings up, and there, but who we be? That we be Gullah Geechee anointed people. So I know when I come up this year time with the road and things like that, they'll be up, yep, and Orion and things like that, 100 children and crackers, things like that, so on. Same thing now. Y'all talk like this up here. So most of the time, people don't speak Gullah in this region, in this particular county. But that does not make it not a part of the Gullah Geechee Nation. The Gullah Geechee Nation begins at Jacksonville, North Carolina, and extends southward to Jacksonville, Florida, and goes 30 to 35 miles inland to the St. Johns River. We are here where you mostly talk about the Waccamaw, you see. So in this area, we wanted to make sure that we still put out for people what is authentically Gullah Geechee. And part of being authentically Gullah Geechee is having things for now fun and the end of people. Alright? And the popcorn. You do the plenty of seafood and things like that, and people like for now fun, what means this year, you're famous and things like that. Carolina Gold. What is Carolina Gold? Nice. There we go. Y'all knew that much. I'm glad y'all could understand. So, one would not usually hear people discuss Gullah Geechee culture without talking about rice, but who wants just rice by itself? Most times, you need some gravy. You at least want some butter margarine, as we say. But many times, you want some good seafood to go with it. But we have found that with the influx of more people. Especially like I said before, and I'm in the church again, so I'm telling the truth and sharing the devil. Is people who moms didn't raise them right, is who the ones throwing trash out the window of your car as you go down the road. Instead of with that, and every time I say it, somebody who knows the truth says, and I can get an amen on it. Amen. All right, because if your mama raised you right, where does garbage go? Trash. And in the trash can. Okay, you know you sit by people are in the garbage can. All right? So, here it is that we are inundated with pollution. Largely, that could be dealt with just by the changes of behavior or the teaching of this behavior at a very young age. That anytime you finish with something and you don't want it anymore, deposit it in the appropriate receptacle, and that is not the ground. And someone said, well, what that got to do with the water? If I was traveling down the road, I wasn't going over a causeway because we have ditches. Where do ditches run to? To which ones? Walk them on. A lot of it, there we go. Like I said earlier, in this area, the walk them on. It's going to run to one of these rivers. It's going to go into the estuaries. It's going to go into the salt marsh. And guess what's in the salt marsh? Some of y'all love for damn fun. Fish. There we go. Crabs. Well, the oysters are in the fish, but what else is the bottom feeders, the shrimp, right? Those are nurseries, our salt marsh are nurseries for them to birth their babies. So that we can have some more leaf on them. Okay. And the only queen that tried to nap on all the leaf on it, because if you nap on the leaf on, what happens? What happens if you nap on just the leaf? What happens eventually? You won't get no big one. That should have been an easy one for everybody. Okay, if you had leech out or somebody that nap on, you wouldn't do it in. Okay. So now, the little ones have to grow to be big ones, but they can't if we continue to pollute our waterways. So even if you say, well, it was on the ground, eventually on the coast, it ends up in some body of water, and it usually ends up in some body. Because now we're realizing that plastics end up in even the human body. So think about it. If you love to eat seafood, do you really want to pollute the seafood? No. Because why?
It gets in the body.
I just gave you the answer. Right, it gets in your body. It was an open book test. Come on, people. So, one of the things that has been a blessing to me, and I'm Chieftess and head of state for the Gullah Geechee Nation. I'm Queen Quet. I said that earlier. But for you English-speaking folks of this side, that's the only reason I'm repeating that. Is I love working on this project that y'all are all here to see. This is our second Gullah Geechee CREATE Artwork Showcase. I love for y'all to give a round of applause to these artists on that side. The Gullah Geechee Nation, the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition, the Gullah Preservation Society, which is based up here in Horry County, the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce has worked in collaboration with our South Carolina Sea Grant Office. Our South Carolina Sea Grant ladies, wave your hand for the people. Yeah? All right? So, what these ladies are going to do, can y'all be bad? I can hear something out with everyone.
You know I can.
It's going to get the little chips, yes? One bring the chips and one, okay, we're going to go through. Come on. So, the chips, and let me hold this big thing here. I want to see y'all are twice show off the wall ago like y'all been overstanding them tall. What is it? What car? Come on, speak it, y'all country black folks. Right? Now, y'all see somebody in nothing here. That, right? We ain't gonna eat this up. I hope not. All right? But that might help them eat. Because what y'all gonna do is vote today. And the winners are gonna actually get cash. So you know that always helps you eat, right? That also helps you pay the land tax, help you stay on the land. So we're trying to help out. So these artists have created, all right, these pieces pieces that you see, excluding what Sister Denisha has on her table right there, it's the big piece that you see her pointed to over there, all right? They've created these pieces actually from marine debris, all right? What is debris? Do y'all know? Y'all know what is it? Right, she says, oh, that's interesting. She said it's like trash from a storm or something. And it's the or something that is a bigger problem than even sometimes the storm. The or something is the throwing this stuff out the air, but the storms are a critical issue as well. Because when the storms come in, then we have storm surge. So even things that might have been in the water could end up being thrown up on the land. Great answer. So it's that trash, it's that garbage, it's those pieces that broke off your house in a storm. It's pieces of your tire running down the highway. We don't realize little pieces of plastic come off our tires when we're driving. That's how your tire treads get going down. There's all kinds of things out here. Cigarette butts. There was a tremendous amount of cigarette butts that we have picked up from along the intercoastal waterway, along the river shores, along the ocean over the last year. And we're going to continue doing that. So some folks ask me, what's the sign-in list over there for? That's so that you can be on our mailing list for other Gullah Geechee Creative Days. When we have these events, you can come out with us, be on the water, learn more about the work we're doing to make the water healthier and to make our coastline more resilient and sustained, thereby sustaining Gullah Geechee culture, because without seafood and rest of things like that, we ain't gonna get here. All right, that's a major part of our diet, so we need to keep that going. And then you can come back and make artwork with us. So that's why Sister Zenobia Harper of the Gullah Preservation Society, who's on our team, wanted to incorporate this with this Gullah Geechee Community Day, while you all do arts and crafts, to also see what kind of art these artists have created. What we'd like for you to do is you will obtain one chip apiece. Now we did this on St. Helena Island, my home line, down the coast, 3.5 hours south of you. People don't come crying to me today, because they did it on St. Helena. Queen, you sure I can't get a next one? Lift that thing off. I get it. Okay. That speaks volumes to how well they recreated that debris into fine pieces of art that makes it that hard for you to determine which one you like the best. But you only get one vote. Okay? Yes, children can vote. Unless it's a toddler who just can't talk and you trying to use the baby now. You're trying to get to a vote. Alright? But if they school age like them, yes, y'all can vote too, okay? Everybody can get one chip each. And then you can go and visit each one of the artists, and on their tables you'll see the mason jar, and whichever one you think is the artwork you like the best, drop it in. In addition to you all acting as judges, the community judging, we have 3 judges present. Can the 3 judges please come step forward here in the middle with me for this show? So that you can introduce yourselves. What's your name?
Asia.
Asia.
Josh.
Josh.
Kate.
Kate. All right. You will also see them, and I knew Kate was a judge when I walked in the room. I said that's one of our judges, right? I saw her was a joke. I said I can tell. She's ready for the job. I was like, either that or she the building code this back. All right. Kate is serious about it. I like you, Kate. Kate is I'm ready to work. Come on. So yes, so this is wonderful. So you'll also see our judges mixing and mingling and talking with the artists and everything about their art, because there'll be a judge prize and there will be a community prize. And it may not be the same, which is fine. All right? And so we got no chips to go around. All right? So the artists will be safe and secure that win again today. So we're looking forward to all of you here participating, and you can at any time get up, go ahead, get your chips, and then look around if you want to do that before you really get engaged in what you're making. We would love it. And so we're going to let the judging go on for at least the next hour, possibly to an hour and about the next hour. We're going to let the judge go on, but at least the next hour and maybe 10 minutes, and then we're going to get ready so we can start tallying up who the winners are. So y'all ready? Yeah. What's your job? What's your job? Go on the arm. How you do that? And then what you do? Put it in this. Put it in what thing?
Picking up seashells. So I went crabbing one time with my family in the marsh. My feet went down. I always remember messed up some good shoes. Doing it, the crab stuck my leg up. So I got like different scenes in it. So I had made it so you could like interact with it and to see all the different scenes. Originally I wanted it to be 4 feet by 4 feet, and people were actually like rolling. It was already too big as it is. But then I was like to push and make the seams solder and look better. I want to see if they had color hot glue. And so they did. And I went through piece by piece all these hot glue that I took and then stitches together to make it more like a quilt and reinforce the seams.
They're not putting them around shoulders anymore. They're using cardboard now.
What's your name?
My name is Jojo Wise.
Wise, W-I-S-E?
Yes, me?
J-O?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about this. What is this?
So this is a jellyfish. If you want to touch anything, you absolutely can.
So you have those interactive ones, right? Where you touch?
Yes. Oh, yes. I play with this thing so much whenever I have it at home. It's definitely hanging up in my room right when I'm done with this. This is packaging paper, I believe. Instead of using like bubble wrap, some companies will use things like this because it's a lot easier to deal with when it's turned into trash.
Oh, okay.
And so it's made up of like that right there is a wooden bucket that I found on my first beach cleanup down here. So like over the summer when we were collecting the debris ourselves, one of my first beach cleanups was actually with the South Carolina Sea Create people, and we got to collect that. I got some wooden pieces from, I believe, the actual bucket itself and a broken pool noodle. And so when I saw those things, I immediately started thinking of animals that are by the sea that I never got to see. I've never seen a jellyfish in real life, not in an aquarium and not in the ocean. So that was one of the first ways that I went with this.
Fish netting?
Yes, ma'am. They got shrimp fish netting that they found. Sometimes they're collecting them from the oceans, and sometimes the Sea Create people will actually buy them from shrimpers, because this type of netting they don't use anymore very often because it's older. And there's nylon ones that they can use that are better for what they do.
Right.
So these ones end up becoming debris lately, especially when they have to cut them off and get rid of them. So they're trying to buy those up from people and collect them ones that are already in them. It was kind of broken up. Yes, all 5 pieces. It's not in the actual
No, it's actually a really plain and then collage work of all of my collected items together. I wouldn't have enough time if I did oil.
And the best late in America toy
That I found and then just smashed again to re-put it, and then the plastic is just some plastic I found on the beach that I tore up. Was like a plastic wrapper bag along with the newspaper, and then this was a candle lid I found. I think someone was doing like a little romantic thing and they left the candle lid. So I put the materials down first and then I
painted over them or use like their colors they already had and this as a base. Like for Queen of the Sea, some of her cardboard was already brown, so I didn't paint over that. Same with the glass on the seahorse. That was I wanted to use clear glass so you could still see the paint underneath it. So it looks like it was painted. Thank you.
Thank you, son. At least one more man knows the Lord is inside me in this church this afternoon. Praise the Lord. Maybe I had need to say, praise the Lord, saints. Maybe they would have handled that one. But so glad to be here one more again for this occasion. Now, before we announce the winners today, I'd like all we Gullah Geechee CREATE artists to come step from behind the table, come right there in the middle, so everybody can give y'all a round of applause for the outstanding work. I got to preach tomorrow. I feel like preaching today. Well done, Dr. Faithful son. Okay, I know some of y'all said, please finish with them till I rest, because I tired. I know. I Yeddi how hard y'all been to work and all of this here. But somebody else who I mentioned, St. Helena, who is in the building today, that I'm so glad he did y'all. Finally, and sisters of Novia Harper. Come here, Novia. Come here. Thank you for biting me up this board there, to cook y'all, and for put all these things together. Then Lee put over y'all in the seat. She the one made that. Okay. You see? Right. Lord, all that work. 500 and then Lee could have she made. And we can make more. And can make more. We got another 500 for turning. Yeah. Because that person that's in Helena Elementary School with me next month. No. I'm glad if we go back with the children and things like that. But rather was. I'm glad for this your time. Can I get a drum roll, please? For the Conway Showcase community favorite, the winner is Disya. Wonderful. So now, you want to tell the people what you are?
So I had the idea of turning, it's like 100 and some cubes, and 100 and some plastic bottles and ginger ale bottles into what people thought was our earth back in the day, and how they thought that it was flat. And I thought a gigantic cube that people could interact with and turn it into a quilt was based off of our heritage, how we told our stories, how they used the fabric from our relatives and built it, how they even hid secrets and stuff back in the day to tell us how to get free or the other people didn't know about. And my family is big into quilting, and we have a lot of those quilts and stories. So I thought that putting the water bottles and ginger ale bottles, people live their lives and have their stories that they're drinking with it. And when we did the cleanup, it was just plastic bottles everywhere. So like that, you needed that at that moment, then you didn't care about it anymore. So I thought about it would be amazing to build it into a cube that people can actually see the beauty of it and quilt it together all of our lives and all our stories. And I wanted it to sit on a tree trunk, which is also made out of recycled materials from the top and the bottom of the water bottles. I made those into flowers, and a lot of kids got to help me with that. And make it like a tree trunk, which would stand strong unless somebody grinds it and burns it. You gotta do a lot to get rid of it. And that's our heritage. We're here to stay no matter what. And that blossoms and shows our story. So.
He shall not be moved. See, y'all said, what? the church. Okay. So now, go ahead, man. Oh, you got something good?
Yeah, you got something good.
There you go. All right. Thank you. Job well done. And now, drum roll again, please. And the judges' decisions are in. For second place in the Conway Showcase goes to Sister Winnie
Yes, so my artwork was inspired by both my heritage, my family's from Cameroon, Africa, and I wanted to create art that was representative of the folklores of both the Gullah Geechee Nation and Cameroon coastal ways, and how even though we've been taken apart and miles apart and years apart, there's still that connection of storytelling and nature and protecting the sea, and a lot of that comes from the women of the nations and as protectors as well as sea creatures. So both South Carolina and Cameroon have native sea turtles and seahorses, so I wanted to really amplify those creatures as they're also part of what makes these nations and these waterways important and great. So I really wanted to exemplify that beauty, both the women who protect and animals that also work to protect the nation.
Beautiful. Yes. Welcome you guys home. From Cameroon. There you are. You're honored that you are here. All right. Last drum roll. Y'all ready? Let's go. And the judges have determined that the first place for the Conway Showcase goes to Sister Donisha! All right, so now each one of our artists, please tell us your name and where you from, representing here in South Carolina. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jojo Wise. I am from Columbia, South Carolina. So that's where I'm representing. Is that it? That was all of us?
That's all you got to do.
Okay.
You heard me, Sister Donisha, but tell them where you're representing from.
I'm representing from Beaufort, South Carolina. I have a heritage in DC and Beaufort, so Chocolate City, and here's Chocolate City.
I know, that's right.
So that's where I'm from.
And we don't mind the chocolate covered turtle. We had the chocolate turtles on the table, bro. All right, Miss Inez Miller.
Hello everyone, greetings, how honored to do today. Inez Miller, the beautiful St. Helena Island, located near Penn Center. That's where I live.
Yeah, you can walk to Penn Center from my house. Winnie, you said, I'm a leader.
Yes, family way of Cameroon, but I am in South Carolina's Somerville area.
Yeah. Well, I'm preaching tomorrow morning. Yeah. Go ahead, Sister
Tina Tyler, Charleston, South Carolina.
Chucktown! And that's where the next Gullah Geechee CREATE Artwork Showcase will be going down. It's actually in North Charleston on Saturday, March the 29th. We'll be there from 1 to 3. So please come out, tell your folks come out. You can go on Eventbrite and sign up now and share that link also with your family and supporters and friends, especially in Charleston. We expect even more people to show up in North Charleston, and because that's the final showcase, you know how we do. Oh, I'm gonna go to the next one. Oh, it was cold that day. I had thought it was gonna rain the first day, but then look, oh, that the last one? Oh, okay, right? So definitely we want folks to come out, show up and show out like these artists have done. Please give them another round of applause. Now, you actually have 8 artists that are participating. We had something like 42 artists sign up. Now, what stood out for me was when Sister Winnie mentioned the women and the strength of the women. Look who's standing at the end, right? The women. And so that energy, that power, that pride is a blessing, especially during Black History Month. Yeah. And we're getting ready to go into Women's Her Story Month. All right, to celebrate. This is an honor, truly. Y'all truly honor our ancestors and our ancestresses. All right, so we appreciate all that you have done and continue to do to help with the sustainability of our community and to beautify the world. So I can't wait till we get to North Chuck to see what happened there, for sure. And so 2 of our artists that are not feeling well today, so y'all send up prayers for them. And then we have 1 artist still trying to crunch it out and finish. So we're gonna see if you see 7 or 8 at the next showcase. But if you at St. Helena and you like, what, the other 2 dropped? No, they didn't. They just didn't feel well today. And so we were glad they didn't come and codify us, all right? But they send, you know, their blessings for the event, and this is an honor to have y'all return. So thank y'all, and thank you for everyone that was here today working with children. Thank you, my sister. Working with all the creativity. Now, definitely with all about freedom. That's why we sung Oh Freedom. And we want our waterways free from this debris and then upscaled, upcycled into art the same way God made us all artistically. Peace, love, and blessings to everyone. Thank you for being here.